Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Hawksnest here, back with another Call of Duty mobile video. Now, before we actually get into the guide and talking about the BY15, I do want to let you guys know that I am doing a giveaway. If you guys didn't know, I've been streaming a ton on my stream channel, which will be linked down below, and I have decided to do a giveaway on that channel. The giveaway is super simple. Basically, I'll be giving away $20 per stream for the next 5 streams, so that's $100. And each winner will get $10, so there'll be 10 different winners. Each one gets $10. I'll actually be giving away the $10 in 2 different ways. So the first winner, literally all you have to do is be the first person to chat in the stream. So what that means is over the next 5 streams that I do, the very first person to chat inside the stream, you could literally say anything. You could say like A, B, C, D, hi, whatever you want. And then the second winner will be just a random person in chat at some point during the stream. So if you want to have a chance at actually winning $10 and also just watch me play ranked, watch me make videos, really watch anything related to COD Mobile, make sure to subscribe to that channel, which you can see on your screen right now what it actually looks like, and turn on post notifications so you can be the first person to actually send a chat. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the BY15. First of all, the BY15 is starting to get extremely popular right now because a lot of people are starting to use the gun in ranked. I think the first person to really kind of revolutionize a shotgun in ranked play was the player Sem. He's a European player. And then Ferg started trying it as well, and he's the one that's really made it popular overall. Like Sem was kind of the person that started the trend, and then Ferg is the one that really like exploded it essentially. But with this trend kind of getting popular and people trying to use shotguns, a lot of people are struggling on actually using it, and especially using it in ranked. And I actually kind of discovered why that is. It's because the gun is kind of deceptive and it makes you think one way, but in reality, it's working in a different way. So the goal of this video will be essentially help you understand exactly how the BY15 works, as well as give you a really cool pro tip that can actually help you like hit one shots all the time. And that sounds like clickbait, but seriously, this trick is super cool, and you're actually gonna find yourself getting way more one shots with the BY15 after you're done watching this video and you start trying this technique. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start talking about the stats of the gun really quickly, and then I'll get right into the pro tip. First, let's go ahead and talk about the damage and range of the BY15. So when you actually shoot a shotgun, and that includes the BY15, what you do is you shoot 8 pellets. Now, these 8 pellets go in a spread, and we'll talk about the spread very soon, but each pellet has individual damage. So when you actually shoot at someone, if you hit all 8 pellets, you're going to do a lot more damage than if you just hit 1 pellet. And that's part of the reason why shotguns aren't great at range. It's because the farther you get away from someone, the smaller they get, which means the less likely you are to actually hit your pellets. And also after a certain range, which we will talk about soon, the gun, literally the pellets just disappear in thin air and you can't even hit them. So let's go ahead and look at how much damage each pellet does and what the ranges are of those pellets basically. Okay, so once again, keep in mind there's 8 pellets in the BY15, but anyway, the very first range that the BY15 has is 0 to 7 meters, and at 0 to 7 meters, each pellet will do 30 damage. What this means is to kill someone that is full HP, you need 4 pellets to hit. So that is half of the gun's pellets, which is actually fairly easy to hit, which makes this gun an absolute monster at 0 to 7 meters. The next range is 8 to 16 meters, and at 8 to 16 meters, each pellet does 17 damage. And this means that you have to hit 6 pellets to kill someone. So this is where it's a little bit more difficult to actually hit one shots. The next range is 17 to 21 meters, and each pellet will do 15 damage at this range, and what that means is you need 7 pellets to hit to kill somebody. So that is 7 out of 8 pellets, and obviously that's going to be super hard, especially considering that the character or the opponent that you're fighting will be really small since you're so far away. And the next range is 22 meters and above. At 22 meters and above, you're going to do absolutely no damage. This is where the pellets just disappear into thin air, and they literally don't do anything. And if you are curious what the BY15 looks like with a long barrel and a silencer, here is the ranges and damages with that. I'm not going to go over it because it's not that big of a difference, but here is a visual representation of those ranges and damages. It's also worth mentioning that those damages are to the entire body, including the head, so you don't do bonus headshot damage. Also, it's worth noting that the pellets can't shoot through any material. You can't even collateral people, so you can't shoot through people. The pellets literally have no material penetration. So once again, that means no wall bangs or collats with the BY15. Now, for the fire rate of the gun, the BY15 shoots at a rounds per second of 1.2 or a rounds per minute of 72. This is extremely slow as expected with any pump shotgun, and what that means by it being a pump shotgun is you have to shoot, pump, and then shoot again. So the time in between shots is going to be extremely high. So now when we combine our fire rate and our damage, we're going to see the time that it takes to actually kill somebody. If you are able to one-shot someone with the BY15, your time to kill is 0 milliseconds, which means it is instantaneous. As soon as you shoot or press the shoot button, you're going to kill somebody. That is assuming that you're able to hit enough pellets to actually kill them. So that sounds great, but the thing is, if you don't kill them in one shot, your time to kill goes up a ton. If you need a second shot to kill someone, your time to kill will be 833 milliseconds. If you need a third shot, it'll be 1,667 milliseconds. And if somehow you need 4 shots, your time to kill is 2,500 milliseconds. Just to give you an idea on how those compare, the Type 25 can kill at 228 milliseconds up close or 381 milliseconds at far. So clearly it is extremely important to actually hit your first shot with the BY15, and now I'm actually going to cover how the accuracy works with this gun, what attachments you should use, and a pro tip that will help you hit more shots. Okay, so now we're talking about the accuracy of the weapon and just helping you guys understand how it actually works. So I was actually extremely surprised to find out how the accuracy works with the BY15, because the crosshair that is actually shown in the game is not true to what the spread is of the pellets. So in most games, if you see a crosshair on your screen with a shotgun, what that means is your pellets could go anywhere in that circle. But that is not the case with the BY15. The actual crosshair, or like the actual bullet spread, is a lot smaller than that. Okay, so on your screen right now, what you're seeing is the actual bullet spread of the BY15. Now, if you actually want to use the BY15 a lot, there is a really cool trick you can do that will help you master the BY15 spread. So let's actually go ahead and hop into the game and show you what that is. Okay, so the first thing you actually need to do to actually do the thing that I'm talking about is go to your settings cog, wherever it is, go to your custom layout, which is right here if you use advanced mode, and then what you want to do is you want to grab your settings button, jack up the opacity just so you can see it right now, and then basically what you want to do is center it on your screen as best as possible. So okay, so now I'm going to show you guys the graphic that I was showing you earlier. I'm going to go ahead and flick it on real quick. So what you're seeing right now is the crosshair spread of the BY15, the KRM, and what the crosshair actually shows you, which once again is inaccurate. So as you can tell, the BY15 is a lot smaller, and what you can do is actually set your scale to 78%. So let me get it down to 78%, and then you center it on your screen. So I'll go ahead and center it inside the little green circle. Now, obviously, you're not going to have those circles, so just go ahead and put it in the center of your screen, and if you ever notice it's a little bit off, you can kind of just come back and adjust it and all that. But 78% is the scale that matches the bullet spread of the BY15. And don't worry if you're on a different device than I am, it doesn't matter. I tested it on my phone, my iPad, it doesn't matter what it is, 78% is the number to go for. Then what you want to do is put your opacity down. I like doing maybe like 20% just so I can kind of see it and use it as a crosshair, but it's not really like in my way if I want to use an AR. But anyway, you can set your opacity down to like 18%, whatever you want, whatever works for you. And then you go ahead and confirm it. And then basically what you're going to have is a crosshair in the game. So I'm going to go ahead and hop in a private lobby so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so now we're actually in the game, and as you can see, the settings cog, it's right there. If you guys want to check if it's a little bit off, you can like pull out something that has a little dot in the center, and as you can tell, mine is maybe slightly off, but it's pretty much good. It's not like it has to be super accurate because you're just getting an idea of the spread, but your goal should be to get it pretty much as centered on the screen as you can. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pull out the BY15, and we're just going to run to a wall real quick just so I can demonstrate the bullet spread, or the pellet spread, sorry. Okay, so now let's go ahead and shoot a wall and see where the pellets actually go. So as you can tell, the pellets go within that settings cog. If I go ahead and just spam shoot, it's always going to be within that settings cog. I do want to mention that the bullet holes are a little bit bigger than where the bullets are actually hitting. So it looks like it's going a little outside, but in reality, it's all fitting right within the settings cog. So as you can tell, it looks like it's a little bit outside, but again, that's just because the bullet holes are so big, but where the pellets are actually going is a little bit tighter. So if I go ahead and flick on the overlay real quick, once again, we're looking at the green circle. So if I shoot, it's always going to be within that green circle all the time, always right there. So even if we get really far, I think this is like 15 meters or whatever, and I shoot, it's still within that circle. So this is a really good little trick to basically line up your shots. Now you might be wondering, what about when I ADS? Now ADS is a little bit different. The way that ADS actually works is when you ADS, your shots are going to go within the circle of the I'll highlight it right now. This is where your bullets are going to go. So if I shoot, you're going to see it's always going to be within that circle. If you're wondering if it's more accurate if you ADS, it's actually not, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate why it's not. Okay, so as you can tell right now, I have the circle lined up with the pillar. Now if I shoot, and shoot, the bullets or the pellets are always going to go on that pillar. So now let's go ahead and compare that if we ADS. So as you can tell, the circle still lines up with the pillar. It's the exact same thing. ADSing does not actually increase your accuracy. If it does, it's a very, 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 very small increase in your accuracy, or a decrease in your bullet spread, which is basically an improvement. But again, if that exists, it's like nothing. So ADSing does not actually have an effect on the pellet spread. What it does do though is it makes you aim in a little bit more, like there's a little bit more zoom. And also it switches your sensitivity to the ADS sensitivity as opposed to the standard. So to hit those nice precise shots, you should probably ADS, but the thing about ADSing is it does take a little bit of time. So hip firing is generally really good if you are really accurate, and the better you get, the less you'll actually ADS. But ADSing is still very viable just to get you a little bit more accuracy with your shots because of the lower sensitivity and more zoom. I also do want to say, I noticed that when you're running, the crosshair gets bigger. As you can tell, you see how it's like lined up to the red circle, and then when I start running around, it's not. I tested, and as far as I can tell, when you're jumping, running, whatever it is, your spread is still the exact same. So you don't have to stop running to shoot someone. You don't have to stop and then ADS or whatever. You can just run and hip fire them. I did notice a very small increase in your bullet spread, so it got a little bigger, but it was really nothing, to be honest. I don't think it's anything you have to worry about. Another important thing, since you're going to be hip firing a lot, is having a good standard sensitivity, and standard sensitivity is the one that affects when you're just looking around right now. So when you're not ADS and you're actually hip firing. I made an entire video actually describing how to pick the best sensitivity for Call of Duty Mobile. That video will be shown on the screen right now, and then on the top right, there's like the card or whatever if you guys do want to watch it. And it will also be linked down below. So that would probably be the next thing you should do if you do actually want to master shotguns, is get a really good sensitivity setup. Okay, so I'm actually editing this video and I just realized something. So this applies to 75 FOV. So you'll see the shots are perfectly within the little circle, which once again, there it is for reference. But if you change your FOV, so if I go to settings, basic, and then I go my FOV all the way down to 51, you're gonna see it's a little bit bigger. So the spread is a little bit wider. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the size of the icon a little bit bigger to match. So this is if you're playing with the lowest FOV. Okay, so with the lowest FOV, 132% on the scale will make it fit perfectly. So now we have that. So it really depends on what FOV you have for what size you want to have your little settings icon. I also am realizing from this that if you actually lower your FOV, it's going to be easier to hit targets because now targets are bigger and your crosshair is a little bit bigger. So it's actually going to be a little bit easier to hit people if you want to hip fire if you have a lower FOV. So if you're like wanting to main shotgun, it could be a really good idea to lower your FOV. One thing you actually lose though is your peripheral vision. So on the sides, you can see it's a little bit tighter. You can't really see on the sides of you basically. So that is something to keep in mind. If you do want to lower your FOV, you're gonna have to jack up the size. But as you can tell, you have a bigger area to hit and targets will be a little bit bigger as well. So it's gonna be a lot easier to hit shotgun shots. Some final tips are when your gun is actually pumping, try to move as much as you can to avoid getting hit, because at this period of time you're not able to shoot back, so you got to make sure you're not getting hit. And because you don't do bonus headshot damage or anything, make sure to aim for the biggest part of the body, which is generally the like center mass area, so like the stomach and chest. Typically don't use a shotgun on bigger maps, and definitely don't position yourself in places where you're going to get shot by ARs. Always take fights around corners and just in small little lanes. Never take a really like crossfire area sized map or whatever. Never take fights in that area basically. Because sliding and jumping doesn't impact your shots very much, you want to be doing that as much as possible because once again, you don't want to be getting hit, and if you miss your first shot, you have to be able to follow up with the second one. So staying agile and moving all over the place is very important. And pre-aim as much as possible. Always be predicting where people are going to be so your crosshair is ready to shoot them as soon as you see them. I also want to mention that you run at 6.6 meters per second, which is basically identical to the SMGs. For reference, the MSMC runs at 6.56 meters per second, so the BY15 is actually slightly faster than the MSMC. Now, the gun normally has 8 rounds, and you can get it up to 10 with a extended mag, or you can put a fast mag on, which will basically increase it'll decrease the amount of time that it takes your gun to reload. So a BY15 with no attachments reloads in 5.7 seconds from 0 rounds back up to 8, but with a fast mag, you can get it down to 4.1 seconds. In terms of attachment setups, what I personally like is a laser sight, and I do want to mention that a laser sight doesn't actually change the spread or anything. It doesn't help your gun in any way. The only thing that it does is it adds a laser that helps you actually hit your shots. So I actually do like a laser sight because it does kind of give me a nice feel with the gun, and there's not that many attachments to choose from anyway. But once again, it doesn't make your bullet spread tighter. It doesn't do anything other than show you a laser sight. And if your graphics are on low or medium, you actually won't even see the laser, so it'll literally be pointless. So only use the laser sight if you're using graphics that are high or above. But anyway, I do use high graphics, so I use a laser sight, a long barrel. Sorry, let me put on the laser sight as well. And then also, I personally like a fast mag. Really, I don't know the difference between extended and fast mag. I don't know which one is better. I know the differences, but I don't know which one is better necessarily. So personally, I just think a fast mag is good. Once again, there's no justification. It's whatever one you like. In terms of a suppressor, I don't think it's that necessary. You could use it if you like being a little bit more stealthy. You do lose a little bit of range with it, but one technique you can do is you can put a suppressor on with a long barrel. And basically what will happen with that is really weird actually. Your range up close will be the exact same as a normal BY15. Your ranges and all that will be the same, but your far range will be increased a little bit because of the long barrel. So this is actually a decent setup. You don't lose any range when you have a suppressor and a long barrel attached. You actually still gain a little bit because of the long barrel. So this is definitely a viable one if you want to use the suppressor. If you are going to use the suppressor, highly recommend the long barrel with it. But yeah, so once again, I use a laser sight, long barrel, and fast mag. So this is what a BY15 class would look like for me. So with all that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a sub down below. Make sure to go check out the sensitivity video if you have not. And also, I just want to thank our channel members really quickly. So I want to give a big thank you, first of all, to our mega fans, which are Rohan D, Fort Chugjug, and PUBG Master 327. And then I also want to give a big thank you to our elite fans, which are Blessed and MGC Gaming. And then finally, I want to give a massive thank you to our ultimate fan, which is Red Zero. So with that being said, once again, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like and a sub down below if you did, and I will see you guys later. Peace.